Hello and welcome to the fourth annual Youth Innovation Showcase. My name is Michael Unger. I am coming to you from my office at the H.R. McMillan Space Center, which is located on a very post-snowy day here in the unceded territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh. We have youth joining us today from all over British Columbia. So if you are watching this and you know the territory that you are watching from, drop us a hello in the chat and let us know how much snow you may be looking at outside of your window. If you don't know the land that you are on, you can go to native-land.ca to find out. Okay, so the 3 months long competition has seen us through 3 rounds of review to bring us to today's winner announcement. So we've got a lot of great content coming to you this afternoon, some exciting young innovators, some cash prizes, and a whole lot of celebrating the innovative, creative, and forward-thinking minds of our future leaders. I know after watching the final competition, the future on science, technology, and innovation in British Columbia and the Yukon is definitely bright. Before we get to that, I want to bring in Madeline Gannett, the Executive Director of the Science Fair Foundation, British Columbia, for a little chat. Hello, Madeline. How are you?
Hi, Michael. I'm great. How are you?
Well, you brought me in 3 years ago to host these awards. So this is year 3, and I've certainly learned a lot about this process, about science fairs, about the Youth Innovation Showcase. And one of the things that is really intriguing and really unique about the Youth Innovation Showcase is its connection to industry. So I was wondering if you could sort of like take us through, because you were the originator of the Youth Innovation Showcase. How does YIS connect to the industry at large?
Well, yeah, you mentioned you started 3 years ago, so this is the 4th year of the YIS competition. The first year it actually started at one of the big tech events in BC. So it's sort of been the brainchild of a collaboration with a lot of industry throughout BC and the Yukon. We really rely on these industry and academic allies as volunteers to deliver the programs that we do, like YIS and science fairs. It also really helps, introducing youth directly to the industry leaders really helps the youth gain an understanding of what science and technology looks like today, and develop the skills for tomorrow to become the next leaders in science and technology. So what I really love about the YIS competition is it really gives the students a platform to nurture their ingenuity, show off their amazing innovations, hone their communication skills, all while connecting directly with industry for mentorship and starting to develop their networks that can really launch them into their careers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the industry volunteers really help us deliver a lot of great add-on programming as well. So they offer the mentorship, help us deliver workshops, and really out of collaborations have become the best programs, and we've really honed the YIS programming itself based on the feedback we received from industry.
Right. Yeah. So we're talking about supporting STEM programming, for all across the province. So there's a whole bunch of opportunities, and this is really what the foundation is all about. And what YIS is trying to do is creating more of those pathways to when they're moving on in their careers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of our main roles is really working with a large network of volunteers, which includes industry and educators, parents, and all of the participants, current and past, who have participated in the Youth Innovation Showcase or science fairs. We also offer a lot of the wraparound programming, so like the workshops I mentioned and the Let's Innovate podcast, which you're also very familiar with as the host. So we really work together with a lot of our partners, other nonprofits, and a lot of education delivery organizations to try to offer as much STEM education as we can throughout all of BC and the Yukon, make sure we're reaching as many students as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the Let's Innovate podcast, and for me personally, this is where I get really excited, because this has been a 3-year learning journey for me, understanding this whole world that I've always kind of hovered around. Because my work here at the Space Center, we work with students from grade 1 to grade 10, and then of course I'm also doing a lot of adult programming as well. So there's a lot of overlap, but this specific extracurricular support for those kids that are moving on is really, really intriguing and a lot of fun. And I've had a lot of great conversations on the podcast. where do you see sort of like the future of an event like this going? Let's go for future thinking here.
Well, every year we've seen more and more regional engagement and more engagement from industry all across BC and the Yukon. So we really want to keep that momentum going and broaden the reach. So it's really going back, like trying to connect with more people, making sure that we're getting people know about this opportunity and are able to register for it and participate and really get the mentorship directly from industry. So I think that's of huge value. It's so inspiring to see the incredible ideas that the youth are coming up with and how well spoken they are in presenting them. It shows so much value engaging youth before they reach that post-secondary level, helping them educate themselves about what the potential career paths are locally within BC and the Yukon. So I really think making those connections early before youth have made the decision of what major they're going into and really letting them explore their own ideas and really hoping to bring this opportunity to more and more students throughout BC and the Yukon.
Wonderful. Well, speaking of some of those students and their submissions and how well spoken they are, we are going to speak to some of the participants that participated in this year's Youth Innovation Showcase. But for now, thank you, Madeline, for leading us in another exciting year. So many exciting projects and programs coming out of YIS. Now, before we get into the awards, let's hear from Paulina Cameron, the author of 150 Women in Business, CEO of the Forum, and lifelong advocate of entrepreneurs and innovation and mentorship.
Hi, my name's Paulina Cameron. I'm the CEO of the Forum, and I wanted to send my huge congratulations to all 13 finalists of the Youth Innovation Showcase. Wow, what incredible innovation. I love working with innovators who are solving problems, figuring out new ways to do things, addressing our most pressing challenges that we have right now. You are building the future we all want to be in, and I'm so thrilled, so excited for you, and I'm cheering you on. Well done.
Wonderful. Thank you, Paulina. It's so great to have entrepreneurial leadership cheering us on. Now, for what you've all been waiting for, let's check out the journey and innovations of our 12 to 15 age category finalists that have taken to get to today.
The 4th Annual Youth Innovation Showcase kicked off August 15th, where young innovators from across BC and the Yukon were called to submit their latest and greatest innovative solutions to tackle today's challenges.
Whatever level of education you are in, I think the best thing you can do is to expose yourself to many subjects, objects, and objectives as much as you can to see where is your area of interest, because that's, I think, the ultimate way to figure it out.
From the dozens of submissions, 20 semi-finalist projects were selected to live pitch to expert industry judges, followed by a Q&A session. Projects were scored. 10 finalist projects, 5 from each age category, moved forward to the final round of project evaluation in early November.
My idea is to make an apartment building that floats on water and has a bridge running through it. It's made of plastic waste from the ocean, car scrap, and tin containers. It helps with stop deforestation because you don't need to clear land to build the houses, and you don't need the wood to build them. My solution is better because it is made from recycled materials. It is 100% afloat, and it has a self-sustaining waste management system.
Last year, I developed a novel inflatable spinal disc replacement used to treat back pain. New disc has been submitted for patent pending. The challenge this year was to develop a surgical technique that was minimally invasive, low risk, technically simple, and able to bond to the spinal column. In order to custom fit new disc into the spine, a 3D CT scan was used to pre-operatively template the correct size of new disc. To decrease surgical risks and recovery times, a minimally invasive endoscopic surgical technique was developed. A solid interface and biological ingrowth was achieved using a biocompatible adhesive and a bioactive material.
Because data shows that drowsy driving, which is fortunately preventable, but is unfortunately one of the major reasons for road accidents globally, killing millions of people every year. Well, that's exactly what my project is all about. The main goal of my project was to help save lives by preventing drivers from falling asleep behind the wheel. To solve this serious global issue, I self-learned coding and created my first novel app and website. My app has a driver's drowsiness detection feature plus an interactive virtual friend speech robot that I invented. I conducted more than 5,000 tests and my app has an accuracy of 97%. I've received excellent feedback from my ICBC road safety and community coordinator, and my app has many other applications as well.
The road to success is unfortunately through failure numerous times. Nobody will ever get there, rarely on their first attempt. It's just really a matter of hanging in there. And that is a measure of your own personal growth, is how you handle failure. And it is a fact that you will fail, and don't be ashamed of it.
I would like you to imagine falling into freezing ocean water. You can probably imagine cold water shock. Every minute counts. Cold water shock sets in 1 minute. Hypothermia in an hour. You need long-lasting heat with no activation. Our innovation is a self-heating life jacket developed to prevent hypothermia.
As avid ocean sailors, we are motivated to design a practical and creative solution to a completely preventable real-world problem.
The Life Heat pouch is attached to a life jacket and is filled with calcium chloride, which generates heat when immersed in water. It uses textiles such as neoprene and microfleece to balance the heat flow.
We improved our innovation over 7 times using the design cycle.
Our innovation is low cost, lightweight, and has been ocean tested.
The fact that they can present their ideas in different settings, like in person, online, and because it can be challenging sometimes to present your project that you've been working on for a long time online, and I think they did a great job doing that.
The construction industry is notorious for being terrible for our environment, making up almost 40% of carbon emissions in 2020. Styrofoam is no better, making up almost 30% of what we annually see ending up in our landfills.
Now, you might be wondering, why not recycle the styrofoam? But the reason we don't is because it's really easy to break and has a super airy texture.
Recycling seemed almost impossible until I discovered organic solvents. Oranges and other citrus fruits have this amazingly potent organic solvent known as D-limonene. When mixed with styrofoam, it becomes a putty-like consistency, and then evaporated, you get this, a literal brick. Implementing the orange brick will impact everyone. With a cleaner environment and cheaper building materials, we can begin to heal our environment.
Amazing. Now let's bring in these young innovators that you just saw. So please join me in welcoming to the program our 2022 finalists. And when I read out your name, you can come on in, turn on your video and unmute. And that is Feya Kafi, Keanu Chan, Jura Singh Nahal, Liam Pope Lau, and project partner Fraser Tuck. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Awesome, folks. Well, I just want to ask a quick question to each of you, just to hear your voice, give a little perspective for all those watching on your project. Let's start with Feya. Really amazing. We just saw your pitch. What was the inspiration behind your innovation?
It started almost a year ago, and I really just saw a lot of issues when it came to styrofoam pollution. I take public transit a lot, so I'm always outside, and I would be seeing piles of garbage, and especially styrofoam. So I really wanted to find a way to do something useful with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So styrofoam, what do we need it for? You know, it's good for packing stuff, but it sure makes a lot of messes. Not great for the environment. Thank you so much, Feya. Rav, I want to bring you in next because your floating house idea was something that I've been hearing a lot about in around the world. I'm curious, what was like? Was there a certain moment for you, something that you learned about that gave you the inspiration for this?
I saw. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I was on the bridge and I saw how it adjusted to the water level. And I started to think, well, what if houses could do this? Now I know floating houses already exist. Yeah. So I wanted to try to make a floating apartment building.
Nice. Yeah, very, very cool. And certainly something that a lot of places all around the world are going to be looking more into as climate change and sea level rise starts to get the better of us. Keanu, you've been here before. This is where I've talked to you on this stage. What has this process been? How has this process been a little bit different for you this time around?
Well, in this case, rather than just creating the device, I've had to think about how to optimize it in every single aspect. So that means getting a ton of input on how to advance my device in all different types of styles. So really thinking about something and then being like, wait a minute, is there a way I can make this even better? And then is there a way I can make that even better? Oh, now what about this thing? So just a longer, more detailed process, I would say.
Yeah, so I guess like the process, like, and I guess in the real world, it never really ends, right? Like you just continually in a process of improving until you move on to something else. Like it's never fully done unless your time pulls you away for on a practical level. Excellent. Let's finally go to Liam and Fraser, our only team in this age category. Liam and Fraser, I want to talk about the way that you work together on your process. How did you divvy up the work, and how was working together on this innovation project?
So we started this project in grade 6, we're now in grade 8, and at the start we were both just doing all of it, and now that we're more in sort of like the building phase, Liam was better at the chemicals and I was more actually making it.
Okay. Is that about how it went, Liam?
Yeah, because like I would agree with Fraser, because starting off we just didn't know kind of like what we're each good at, and I feel that we kind of like found what we're good at and how that really applies to Life Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay. So before we get to the overall category winner announcement, let's turn our attention to the results of the 2022 People's Choice Award in the 12 to 15 age category. We put a call out to all of you, the public, and you answered with overwhelming results. And so after tallying up the votes, we are excited to announce this year's People's Choice Award, who will walk away with a $200 prize, that certificate of recognition, and of course the bragging rights. The winner is of the 2022 People's Choice Award from public votes, Life Heat, the self-heating life jacket created by Fraser Tuck and Liam Poplau from Vancouver Island. Congratulations, Fraser and Liam. Okay. So to announce the Young Innovator of the Year for this age category, 12 to 15, we're going to bring in Madeline Jones, who's the Education and Outreach Coordinator for Genome BC, to present the award for Young Innovator of the Year in the 12 to 15 age category. Hello, Madeline.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for the introduction, Michael.
Yes, I just have to shout out Madeline. Genome BC has a fantastic new podcast, which with my partner Kaylee Byers is the host of. Do you want to say a few words about that podcast?
Yeah, we just had a new episode out yesterday, and it's all about coral reefs, and actually my work in my master's program, just shout out there for kelp research too on the coast. So we're looking at climate solutions. It goes into kind of everything. It's an amazing podcast. So definitely go listen. This week's was really great. It's got like really dulcet tones of coral reefs. Did you know that they make noises?
I did not know this. This is amazing facts to learn. And I'm very jealous. I miss Kaylee, because Kaylee and I had our own podcast, Nerding About, but then we each had our own podcast that pulled us, you know, Kaylee with Nice Jeans, and of course me with Let's Innovate right here, talking to a lot of these innovators. So you are here to announce the Young Innovator of the Year for the category age 12 to 15. Take it away.
Yes, thank you. I'm very happy to announce the winner. So the winner for the age 12 to 15 category is, drumroll, Life Heat, the self-heating life jacket created by Liam Poplau and Fraser Tuck from Vancouver Island. So congratulations to the two of you.
Awesome. Congratulations, Liam and Fraser. Thank you, Madeline. We appreciate you being here. And we really appreciate Genome BC's support as a sponsor of this program, ensuring the continuation of youth curiosity and programming in STEM. Thank you, Madeline. All right, let's bring in Liam and Fraser again. Guys, congratulations, both the People's Choice Award as well as the Young Innovators of the Year. First thoughts, how does it both feel?
Amazing. Yeah. Really excited.
Do you have any plans? Like you do get a little bit of a cash prize, and as Keanu, mentioned, this process is continual. So, what sort of like ideas do you have to continue the process with your innovation?
We were planning on reaching out. We recently reached out to someone who knows someone in the BC Ferry Safety Department, and we're going to have a talk with them about maybe even implementing this into the BC Ferry's fleet of life jackets.
Excellent.
Another thing that we're going to do is we want to kind of like look at new textiles that we can kind of like implement into Life Heat to make sure that it's the safest and kind of like most like best product out there that we can create.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations again. Let's bring everyone back. Fayat Kafi, Keanu Chan, Joris Singh Nahal, Liam Povlau, and Fraser Tuck. Congratulations to all of you on amazing, innovative projects. Join us all in the chat for congratulating all of these amazing innovators, like Sexual Youth. Congratulations to all of you. We'd also like to congratulate everyone who submitted innovation in this age category, presented in the semifinals, and again to our finalists here today. You should all be so proud of your accomplishments. Creativity and drive to be a change maker. Keep moving forward, keep innovating, and never stop dreaming. Congratulations, Liam and Fraser, on being the Young Innovators of the Year for the 2022 Youth Innovation Showcase in the age category of 12 to 15. Okay, we'd also like to thank our judges from across the industry and academia who gifted us their time, knowledge, and expertise to evaluate the semifinalist and finalist projects in 2022. So as a reminder, how you can get involved and volunteer with your areas in Regional Science Fair, showcase your expertise in a workshop or a podcast episode, sponsorship donation of a program, or participate in the event. All you need to do is you need to email us at info@sciencefairs.ca. These programs are made possible by the support of the community together. Okay, so now we got more innovations coming up. Deep breath, everyone. We got more lined up. Let's check out the journey of the next age category, the age category of 16 to 19.
The 4th Annual Youth Innovation Showcase kicked off August 15th, where young innovators from across BC and the Yukon were called to submit their latest and greatest innovative solutions to tackle today's challenges.
Don't underestimate the capacity of the young people to contribute, even though they may not seem to add a whole bunch immediately. As an intern, they learn a lot about how companies, what they look for, how ideas evolve.
From the dozens of submissions, 20 semi-finalist projects were selected to live pitch to expert industry judges, followed by a Q&A session. Projects were scored. 10 finalist projects, 5 from each age category, moved forward to the final round of project evaluation in early November.
According to the Canadian Medical Association across Canada, demand for home care for elders is projected to rise by 50% in 2031. My AI home care monitoring system addresses this problem for all of those who need home care through human pulse estimation. In essence, the system will monitor patients in real time and send out alerts when irregularities are detected, and as a result, the system will fill in for the shortage of healthcare workers, reduce the number of home care visits required, thereby making it cost effective.
Think big, but think small too. Think about your project and how you can slice it up into small pieces and solve 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of those pieces in a row.
Our innovation Milkmaid aims to reduce food waste due to confusion with inaccurate expiry dates. Our innovation aligns with the UN SDG 12, responsible consumption and production.
Milkmaid is a reusable carton lid with an electronic pH indicator probe attached to the inside of the cap. A screen displays the pH of the milk so that it can be read even when the cap is off.
Milkmaid's measurement of the freshness of milk is both convenient and scientifically accurate.
When milk spoils, lactose is catabolized into glucose and galactose, which results in the production of lactic acid. Lactic acid reduces the pH of milk, making it more acidic. Lower pH results in the denaturation of a protein called casein.
With Nail Braille, we're trying to help the newly visually impaired population learn Braille so that they could understand, communicate, and navigate their surrounding world.
How it works is you would say a word into a speaker, and then the device will translate what was said into tactile Braille via pistons and pins. To test the feasibility of this idea, we built a prototype using speech recognition and LED lights to represent these pins. When an LED turns on, that represents a pin being pushed up and vice versa. Here is a demonstration. Innovation.
Innovation. I N N O V A T I O N.
In the past 3 years, maybe I started to reach out to people more often. And I think when I started to reach out more, I've been getting more feedbacks, and more feedbacks means you can make more improvements in your life, in your pathway, and see what you like.
Hi, my innovation is called the Water Lily. It's an easily manufacturable and quickly assemblable solar cell that purifies water. Combining two major physics principles in a unique format, the Water Lily uses a vacuum chamber and a parabolic solar dish to increase water production for less than $3 per unit. Millions of people across the world have access to water, but that water is often salty or polluted. The Water Lily makes the process of purifying this water on a smaller scale much simpler, both in terms of cost and distribution. It can act as a quickly deployed solution in disaster areas or as a transitionary technology for water purification.
My innovation is the wilderness surveillance drone, which is designed after animals and to be built with materials and components that can be retrieved through recycling if necessary. I was inspired to design it after visiting Tanzania and learning more about reserves and the relationship with the local economy. This drone is designed to combat poaching, which can originate from ignorance, greed, and desperation. The wilderness surveillance drone is designed as a preventative measure that can seek out and photograph poachers on reserves before they can kill animals and before rangers can be caught unaware. Animals can also be photographed, and these pictures can be sold to help provide funding for the reserve.
Okay, so let's bring in all of our finalists. We have Eric Sier, we have Owen Sway, we have Ziana Mata, Yvonne Wu, Timothy Sai, Taryn Wang, and Christina Garrigan. You can turn on all of your videos and unmute. Hello to all of you. Let's start with Eric and Owen, a project, Braille, helping people impaired. Eric and Owen, what was the connection? What was the inspiration for creating something like this?
Well, we were actually inspired by a friend of ours who had a relative, and that relative had to experience going through learning Braille firsthand while also losing their eyesight. So they weren't prepared beforehand and they didn't know how to learn Braille. So it became really difficult, and the current solutions weren't very effective for them, which is why we wanted to make something that would help make it a bit easier.
Wonderful. And did you reach out to them and get their feedback after you created this?
Yeah, they've given us our feedback and also helped us make a bit of improvements on what they thought would help as well.
Wonderful. Let's bring in Zian and Yvonne, talking about food waste, something that is another major issue in the world today. What inspired you to try to tackle that problem?
So we originally started with the global issue of the food wastage crisis in Canada, which is one that's known all too well by Canadians across the nation. And we thought to ourselves, how can we tackle this crisis in a tangible way? And so that's how we came up with Milkmate, and we combined that with our own personal experiences to develop the product.
Wonderful. Thank you all for joining. Timothy, you were involved in so many science fair projects, so many extracurricular things. My question to you is, how do you find so much time to get involved in all of these extracurricular projects, Timothy?
I just, this is really my life outside of school. So whenever I'm not doing homework, I just pour my time into designing and looking at things that I find really, really interesting. So really, it's the greatest thing to do. You're helping the world and you're learning.
Yeah. What did you find interesting, for your water lily? What was it about that that was inspiring for you?
So this was my original inspiration for science fairs. So it is the first idea that ever kicked off my entire career in science fairs. It was whenever I first found out about science fairs, this was the very first thing that I wanted to tackle. But I really shelved that project and refined it and tackled it again this year after all of those heat waves in the past couple of years.
Awesome. Welcome. Actually, just going to go back and I'm going to do a follow-up. I'm going to go back to Zian and Yvonne because I actually got a question from the chat to one of you because you had mentioned something about your personal experiences with food waste. I'm curious, what those might be or how those helped you inform developing your innovation, Zian and Yvonne.
Yeah, so we targeted milk specifically because for me, my mom would always store milk in our fridge, and then I would notice that it would be past the date that was on the carton. I'll be like, Mom, why are you keeping expired milk in the house? But after researching it, we both found that the dates aren't actually accurate to like dates don't necessarily mean expiry, and that was something that we learned, and we thought other people might be confused about this too, and so yeah, that was kind of like the personal engagement there.
Awesome. Let's move on to Darren Wing, another innovation that was specifically looking to help elders. Do you have an elder in your life that was the inspiration for your innovation?
No, actually. So this is kind of like a long story. So in elementary school, my school used to take us to a senior home, like that was really close to our school. And a few years later, after I got into high school, the pandemic has hit, and I have heard a lot of news about like the senior care crisis across Canada, and I was getting really worried because it is a very terrifying event. So that's how I got my motivation for this project.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, like the population, across our country and across the world is growing. We are getting more people that are moving into that older age category, and certainly something that we all need to think about because we'll all be old one day. And so it's the continual process of caring for each other. Darren, what are some things that you sort of like learned along the way? As you said, like you're looking at a demographic that you're not a part of. So what were some of like the questions, that as you got into this to help you understand what they needed from this innovation?
Yeah, so I kind of, because right now the protocols are actually quite strict at these senior homes. So I kind of have to like recall from like the back of my memories to think about how everything was like at those senior homes. And yeah, and I kind of have to like, recall from my memories and started design this innovation to address those issues that I thought about like from the back of my head.
Right. Awesome. Thanks, Darren. Let's move on to Christina, who I talked to last year, I remember you had developed something that was also inspired by biology and wildlife, and I think it was dinosaurs at the time, and you've kind of gone back, Christina, to draw your inspiration. So I'm curious, what drew you with your drone innovation? Looking like the Zoom is malfunctioning. Okay, looks like we can't talk to Christina right now, but an amazing video inspiration from Christina Garrigan. Okay, so we're just going to keep on going. And we're going to get to the overall category. Before we get to the overall category winner announcement, we're going to turn our attention to the results of the 2022 People's Choice Award in the 16 to 19 age category. And as mentioned earlier in the program, we put the call out to you, the public, as you voted on your favorite project. So after tallying the votes, we are excited to announce the People's Choice Award for 16 to 19 year age category. Walk away with that $200 prize, certificate of recognition. It will be the project Nail Braille. Eric Zai and Owen Sway from Surrey, British Columbia. Congratulations on winning the 2022 People's Choice Award 16 to 19 age category. Okay, so now to announce the 2022 Young Innovator of the Year in the same age category, 16 to 19. Please help join me in welcoming Andy Schick, the Executive Director of New Ventures, British Columbia. Welcome, Angie.
Hello, thanks for having me. It's fun to be here.
Nice to talk to you. So tell us about New Ventures. What's New Ventures all about?
Yeah, so New Ventures BC is a support organization for early stage technology startups. Okay. So I really enjoyed watching all the great projects here from the videos, because if any of you scientists want to turn these into a business in your post-secondary education, that's really when we start working with companies. So, bookmark our name for a couple of years in the future, and we'll be here when you're ready.
Absolutely. Have you dealt with it with any young people that have come into your offices?
I mean, we have quite a few students from post-secondary institutes that have, technologies or ideas they want to develop, and so we certainly speak with a lot of them. And I always find, students actually make, fantastic candidates for our programs because they're always the most prepared and well-spoken, and and have a lot of passion for entrepreneurship. So it's always a pleasure.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to hand it over to you to announce the winner of the 16 to 19 age category.
All right. Well, thanks again, and congratulations to all the great nominations and projects. It was fun learning a little bit about them. But without further ado, the winner of this year's $5,000 cash prize for this category is Timothy Sy of Surrey, BC, and the Water Lily Miniature Vacuum Solar Still. And I just saw a big smile on Timothy's face. So congratulations to you and well done.
Well, thank you, Angie. Thank you, Angie, and congratulations, Timothy. Let's bring in Timothy here and hear a few of your words. Let's get back into Water Lily. First off, how are you feeling, Timothy, being the winner of your age category?
My heart is pounding. It's amazing. Thank you very much.
So with the other innovations, we're talking about continual process that Keanu had talked about. Have you thought about that? What could be next for your innovation? What you want to do with it next with this cash prize?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I began this project, it was fully 3D printed. The goal was to be very cheap, and so since it was 3D prints and it had a lot of upcycled parts like a mason jar, it was very cheap. But it took a long time to manufacture, and it was fully 3D printed, which is not that great from a mass manufacturing standpoint. So I went through the entire iterative design process several more times, and I came up with a refined version 2, which uses wires and injection molded parts. So an entire water lily can be produced in a few minutes instead of a few days.
Oh,
and and so the next step would be pursuing these injection molded parts at certain companies like Xometry, and getting those molds made and these water lilies manufactured.
Wonderful. That sounds really exciting and really fun as well. Is this something, I'm just very curious about your process. Is this something that you totally do? Is this something like you tinker with, like in your, I imagine that you have like your own like tinkering basement of all sorts of different projects that are always in some sort of like state of progress. Take me into a little bit of your lab there.
Yeah. So I've got a lot of different projects running right now. One of my I work on a lot of like different kinds of rockets, so you've got like dozens of like tubes in my workshop, and my main tool is a 3D printer, and that thing's just running all the time.
Wonderful. Okay, well, let's bring on everyone back in to show our appreciation for all the hard work that all of our finalists put into. Eric, Owen, Arav, Zian, Yvonne, Darren, Christina, congratulations to all of you for all of your innovative projects. And a big thank you again to Angie Schick of New Ventures, British Columbia, for being here to present the award. And all of you out there at home watching, please join us in this chat and share your support to all of these exceptional youth. All of these projects absolutely blew me away. Congratulations to all of you. Great job. Okay, so congratulations to everyone presented in the semifinals and finalists here today. Congratulations again to you, Timothy, for being the Young Innovator of the Year, 16 to 19 age category for the 2021 Youth Innovation Showcase. Thank you to all of the judges who donated their time. The breadth of knowledge and experience ensured our young innovators will receive valuable feedback. And a reminder, how you can get involved. If you're out there watching and you say, hey, I want to support and do what I can for a lot of these young innovators out here, go to our website. There's mentorship opportunities, there's workshops to get involved, sponsorship opportunity, get involved with the industry. If you're in academia, there are ways for you to support there as well. And if you're an investor, of course, reach out to us, info@youthinnovation.ca. And of course, this is all made possible, the Youth Innovation Showcase, with the support of our community partners. So thank yous go out to the Ted Rogers Community Fund, the RBC Foundation, BCIT, Genome BC, and the Government of British Columbia. If you submitted in 2022, We hope to see you back again next year. And to everyone who thought about submitting an innovation, if you're out there thinking like, I had that idea, but didn't, we hope you'll consider joining us at a future event. The details for the 2023 program will be announced in the coming months. So let your teachers and parents know about the great programming we have here at the Science Fair Foundation. In addition to YIS, registration will be opening in January 2023 for Sweatin' for Science, taking place May 1st to 31st, 2023. The Science Fair Foundation is an annual, Sweatin' for Science is an annual month-long STEM fitness challenge. I'm out there pounding the pavement, running by Kits Beach where I live. And you can bring that energy to raise some money for the Science Fair Foundation that goes right back into programs like this, the Youth Innovation Showcase, to bring awareness so we can raise funds, remove the barriers to accessing STEM programs for youth all across British Columbia and the Yukon. Next year's theme is sci-fi to reality, which will be exploring how concepts one thought about only seen in books and movies has seen some of the greatest innovations that we see and use in our day-to-day lives. So how exciting is that? Looking forward to exciting ways to digest all the things STEM related. Now in our third season, let's innovate. Having an amazing time with more conversations. Download that on your local app. Whatever you'd use to listen to podcasts, and please share with lots of people on social media, whether you're on Instagram, Twitter. We are on there. We post little clips. So many amazing conversations now in our third season. So fun. And that's it for me, folks. I am here thanking all of you. I hope to see you again, perhaps in person one day. We can do this. I wish you all good luck. And if you're out there in the snow, get home safe. Take care, everyone.